Melia. Welcome to the Monday Blitz. This is Shatabwa alongside Arocho. Uko fiti?
Niko poa.
Bado mko na Ten Hag?
I think we're getting late. I think we're about 8 months late.
Okay. Amesema impeachment is your best pale kwa Ten Hag. Anyway guys, welcome aboard. Kama kawa, we like to get interactive with you, so tuko na swali ya leo talking about Ten Hag. We heard that the Manchester board will be meeting tomorrow. So the question we're asking you for today, do you think Erik Ten Hag will survive as the Man United manager when that board meets and decides on the future of the team? So pia we get interactive, hashtag Monday Blitz at TV47 Kenya, pale kwenye X, Facebook TV47, na pia kwenye SMS 22047. Get interactive. Na kuna namba ya simu inapita hapo, unaweza ukatupigia baadaye utupatie maoni yako depending with what you feel. You don't have to be a Manchester United fan to answer this question. You just have to be a football fan. What do you think? Is Ten Hag right? And wale mnasema afutwe kazi, do you understand that this is a family guy? Ni mtu ako na familia, mnataka apoteze kazi aende wapi? Familia kule nini? Arocho,
yes.
We begin with Ten Hag. When the game started yesterday, the commentator made a statement. He said that Manchester United bench is worth 540 billion pounds, you know? And when you look at that bench, 3/4 of it is Ten Hag signing. Ugarte was in that bench. You had the elite in that bench. People that towards the beginning of this season, we had an opportunity. People were saying, you know what, saa hii tunaenda kuona ball ya Ten Hag. Akona vijana wote alitaka. He wanted center backs. Ineos has come, has helped him recruit. Akona Lisandro Martinez, akona Huyo Ugarte, akona Delete, akona Mazrui, you know. But we saw the lineup and people were like, huyu ameamua kujivuta kazi. I think it's gotten to a point where Ten Hag said, you know what, guys, you don't want to play? Fine. Because benching your players, bringing Evans and Maguire. He's tried to sell Maguire. 2 seasons now he's tried to get rid of Maguire, imeshindikana. Evans came as an emergency solution to the team, you know. But right now, against Aston Villa, a game where anajua it's a do or die, and this is the centre-back pairing he comes with on the pitch. Do you think he's out of ideas? Are the boys forcing him out?
Well, I think at the moment, Ten Hag, there's a lot of confusion at Manchester United. Football is about the psyche. It's more 60, for me, it's more 60% psychological. Currently, the team is down. They need to pull themselves up. Yes. And it gets into the coach. And I think Sahi, it's showing quite well that Ten Hag amelemewa. I feel that the pairing at that defense, bado hajai get right. At times he's having Martinez, at times he's having Maguire, Evans. You know, you must have your spine in the team. Consistency in your goalkeeper, consistency in your central defense. You need to have some people in the midfield that play week in, week out, and of course your strikers. Hiyo kushift is what is making Ten Hag not having a grip at the team. You saw, yes, somebody can argue that United got good chances when they were playing against Aston Villa. But ask yourself, Aston Villa currently, how are they playing? United could not get a win against Twente. You realize the next match they could not get another win.
Yes, actually they lost. They let slip 2-0 lead to draw 3-3.
So basically, it's a team that is currently unbalanced. Psychologically, they're down. And once again, I say, United are late to have sacked this coach. Uni coach angesakiwa when United won the FA Cup. Angeambio, yes, thank you very much. And it was blessing in disguise, if I may use that word. For Ten Hag, because when he won that trophy, he was given an extension of his contract. So it was a mistake. The earlier the better. You on a meet Thursday, for me or Tuesday. For me, it's neither here or there. This is a coach that has proved that he cannot take United to the next level. He should be let go.
Well, then would you take Ruud? as his replacement?
Yes, you can have Ruud van Nistelrooy
or do you go shopping now?
No, you need to get someone to hold on an interim basis for some time while you shop for a coach. Because first of all, convincing a good coach to sign for a team like United mid through the season is not easy, because PRO, they don't want to come and flop. So you can just bring in Ruud van Nistelrooy. He has the philosophy of the team. He played for the team for more than a decade. So he's somebody who knows how the team operates. Let him hold on for some time as you look for a coach that is worth being on the bench for United.
One would argue, Arocho, with the investment that this team has, the Manchester United management has had around Ten Hag, it would be it won't make business sense replacing Ten Hag now, because if you fire him, you have to pay him out, you know? You have to pay out his contract. Number two, look at the investments in terms of the signings he's made, okay? Why not make these boys work? Because how many managers have you had to replace? At what point, I asked you this question last week, at what point, Arocho, does it become a player responsibility?
Boy, it is not working. You know, you don't fix what is working.
Yes.
Currently, United is way below a top 10.
We are number 14.
Yes, that is not
the worst start of a season for United.
It is terrible. You don't wait for the wheels to be off to know that this vehicle is going to cause an accident. Once you realize that the brakes are not really working, you need to give it another shot. So for me, you need to get rid of Ten Hag. I think he's also a poisonous coach in his approach. Look at the way he's been having issues with players. Not one player, not two players. He's been having issues. And when you see a coach having issues with several players, you need to know that, first of all, he's not a good that man management skill is not with him. He's not somebody who is ready to listen. You see the issues that he's been having with players. Cristiano Ronaldo, when Ronaldo was at the team, he said that this is not a coach worth being at United. So basically, he's somebody, I think the team is too big for him. He fitted quite well at Ajax, because Ajax is basically a team that
it's more of an academy.
Yes, it's more or less of an academy where players get their youth system done well as they move to professional sides. The Nwanko Kanus of this side, the Clement Seedorfs of this side, this world. So basically, he could fit very well at Ajax. But Manchester United, first of all, the expectations are very high. The graph at United, as far as coaching is concerned, was way up there. So when you come and you pull the team down, it kills your morale as a coach and even your CV. So once again, I'm saying it. Ten Hag should have left yesterday. We need to get fresh blood as we prepare to transit to the next coach.
And in your opinion, which coach might this be?
Well, it might not be a quick fix. And that's why I'm talking about an interim coach in Ruud van Nistelrooy. It's not a quick fix, because you just don't want to bring any other coach. You need to sit down with several coaches who will, first of all, understand and ready to implement the Manchester United philosophy. I saw Sir Alex Ferguson. He was on the pitch yesterday. You could see the pain. That old Mzee is feeling a lot of pain because he built something for more than 15 years. And whatever he built, an hour or two is crumpling on his face. So basically, it's not a quick fix. I believe that Sir Alex Ferguson can help the team shop for a new coach. It is a process, and that's why we need to have somebody to hold brief while the season is still on.
All right. Talking about holding brief, Tottenham had a 2-0 lead against Brighton, but at the end of the game, it was 3-2. The coach said that was his worst defeat as a Tottenham manager. Again, I bring it back to players taking responsibility. What do you think is happening at Tottenham? The winning mentality has never been there. This guy has been known to be a winning guy, and he did an interview and said, you know what, I tend to win trophies in my second season, but with the way things happen right now, is that a possibility?
Shatter boy complacency. I watched that match. Tottenham had a very comfortable lead. And in fact, I was watching that match with several guys who had placed their bet on Tottenham. They were quite comfortable. In fact, one of the guys stepped out knowing very well that his team has won.
Imeingia.
Aliporudi second half. Woi. It was terrible. I'm not blaming the coach as such. I think the players let the ball down.
Yeah.
They dropped the ball. And it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate for a team like Tottenham because Tottenham have really invested. In the last 5-6 years, Tottenham is one of the teams that has put a lot of investments, not necessarily on the playing unit, but even off the playing unit. Just the other day, they had a new stadium. They invested a lot of money in that stadium. So you can see the frustration of the board. Bringing several coaches. It's another team that has been changing coaches left, right, and center. But I don't want to describe Tottenham's season by this defeat. I think it's something that at times happen in the game. Yeah. Players drop their concentration. Towards the last minutes of that match, they dropped their concentration and conceded. So I think this is just a one-off thing. It's not something that Tottenham have posted. It's not the results they've been posting this season. So I think it's a one-off thing, and I believe that they're going to correct themselves in the subsequent matches.
What do you think of Chelsea? Chelsea, Nottingham with a red card. Is Nottingham such a strong team? Because we saw them beat Liverpool, yeah? And we saw their game against Chelsea. Even with a red card, Chelsea could not get 3 points from Nottingham.
I'm looking at it from two fronts. What you've just said, Tottenham is not just any pushover. Having beaten Liverpool is not a mean feat. Yeah. It's a strong side. Though the other side, there's a lot of pressure at Chelsea at the moment. They've been performing so well. And football, at times, when the pressure is too much, the team crumples. And I saw some character in Chelsea's players, because I think it was a difference with of 3 minutes. They conceded a goal. Within 3 or 4 minutes, they had already recovered and equalized. So the pressure is too much. And you know, most of these players at Chelsea, they've not been there for long. They're also having a new coach. So these are the matches that I remember 2019 when Leicester won the league. There are matches that they were not playing well, but they were picking their wins. So this is one of the matches that I think Chelsea should even be happy that they got 1 point, because they didn't play well going by their previous matches. Yeah. They've been a team that has been quite consistent. Look at the fact that if Chelsea could have won this match, I think they were going number 2, or they were moving up the ladder so well. So at times it happens in football. You drop your concentration and you don't pick the points that you need. But I believe that Chelsea is one of the contenders. Going by the first 5 matches that I watched, I believe that they are contenders.
Really?
Yes. That's
really,
look at the standings.
No, but the game that would say that Chelsea faced a tough opponent, a real opponent, was against Man City with the season opener. And we did not see them play like the majestic Chelsea we are seeing right now. No, until they can be able, you see, even the coach himself. The coach, there's a point he made. He said, you know what, we cannot say Chelsea is a contender right now. The coach said that way. But there is a gap between Arsenal and Man City, and that is what we are trying to bridge. The gap between these two teams. These teams have set a gap between us. You know. So at this point, do not give us pressure of being title contenders or winning the league. That is the Chelsea coach. I'm looking at Chelsea's performance as we moved towards the end of last season. Look at the way Chelsea crumpled. In the last 3 or so seasons, Chelsea has been a team that was not easy to crack. But towards the last few matches of the season, last season, Chelsea was nowhere. It was not a team that you could really be proud of. But look at the first 5 matches. I normally like giving credit where it's due. Picking the points that Chelsea picked. Yes. And many were looking at Chelsea as a team that was overcrowded. There was a lot of surplus players, for the lack of a better word. But the way they converted that into positives and started getting their points, that's the reason why I feel that Chelsea is one of the title contenders. Because look at the way Arsenal stopped their last matches of the season. They played so well. They picked the new season from where they left last season. Many were expecting that Chelsea could do the same. But Chelsea
converted their negatives, the issues about having numerous players who were signed and perhaps could not fit into the team, and now you could see Chelsea playing and winning matches. Yes, they have not played big teams, but I'm looking at their psychological preparation for the season and how they picked their negatives to positives. Negatives in the sense that they could not win matches last season, but now they've picking a draw for a Chelsea fan is disappointed. But you should look at what could have happened if Chelsea could have not picked a point. So for me, it's one of the teams that is expected to play well. Yes, they should not be dropping points the way they dropped against a team like Nottingham Forest. But in football, you count what you have. The 1 point that you picked, you should be proud of it. So let's give them more time and you'll see Chelsea doing well.
All right, there's something Thomas Frank is doing with Brentford that we need to mention to Kipitaga. Brentford has been scoring goals in the last 4 games. They have been scoring in the first minute. They've scored a goal. Actually, this week is when against Wolves when they scored in the 2nd minute, and they went on and posted and said, you know what, guys, sorry, it took us 2 minutes, not 1 minute like you're used to. Is that a tactic that now other coaches should be aware of? Is it something that is favoring Panthers out here, to score in the first minute?
Well, I'd like to look at it as a player. I don't think there's any coach who intentionally wants to score a goal in the first few minutes.
Really?
Yes, I don't.
Thomas Frank wants to do that.
I don't.
Is that in 4 games consecutive?
I don't think it's a strategy. For me, it might be a coincidence.
A coincidence?
Yes.
Oh, no, twice is a coincidence, Arocho. The 3rd time, it's a habit.
No, I don't think so. I don't think there's a team that trains that we have to score in the first minute.
What do you mean, Arocho?
I don't think so. Even if you train...
Wewe si umecheza ball.
Do you understand?
And kuna kocha anakuambiaga hii ball ikitoka hapa iende kwa post. Your opponent.
I'm a bit reluctant to accept that.
A coincidence, 4 games.
Yes, I'm looking at it as a coincidence. You cannot tell me that there's a coach who will say in the 14th minute we'll score a goal. No. It is the kind of pressure that we pile that will give us a goal.
All right.
Let's assume, let's look at the next match they're playing.
Yes.
I'm confident to say that they're not going to score a goal in the first 2 or 5 minutes.
Let us see.
Okay.
Let us talk about another coach, the Arsenal coach against Southampton. He made a very simple game become very tensed and very hard for the Arsenal.
The problem with you, Shatter Boy?
What?
You walked into that match with a lot of confidence.
Before the lineup, we had a lot of confidence. But when the lineup came out, everyone panicked. So according
to you,
yes,
what was wrong with that lineup?
Playing Thomas Partey out of position, playing him as a fullback, and he has been our most strong and fluid number 6.
So you think the coach just wanted to drop points?
No, he underestimated Southampton. That's what I think. He was overconfident. He was overconfident because what was the reason of benching Trossard or Martinelli?
At what point did he correct his mistake?
When we conceded. The moment Arsenal conceded a goal, he brought in the Calvary.
Okay.
And the moment the Calvary came in, Martinelli and Trossard, you saw what happened. Arsenal became Arsenal that you've seen from the beginning of the season, and we ended up winning the game. But before that, he made a very simple game, very tense.
Shatter, at times coaches try things out in a match like this. Well, you might be right that he tried something, it didn't work, because good coaches don't necessarily look at the match they're playing. More so when you're playing a weaker side. You don't look at that match. You try to project, let's say 2 or 3 matches ahead. Why do they do that? Because perhaps you have an injury that there's a player in the pitch that is not 100% fit. So you'd like to tilt your game because you believe that it's a weaker side that you can try and tilt. And other than injuries, perhaps cards. Arsenal is the team that has picked more red cards in this season. So perhaps the coach was trying to see, okay, in a big match, I will not have Rice, I will not have Partey. What else can I have in my team? So at times, as fans or as pundits, we might not see what the coach is saying. And that's why at times I am reluctant to bash coaches, more so when they lose. But when you lose consistently, then of course, you've lost your plot.
Yeah.
So I'd like to excuse the coach. And you see, and you rightfully put it, that he corrected his mistakes and won the match. So I don't see why you're cursing. And you're not the only Arsenal
yes,
player.
no, listen.
You're not the only Arsenal fan who caused issues. I saw it on social media. Several fans.
Kuna kitu Arteta anafaa ajue. He does not know what his lineup and his style of play does hapa kwa ground. You know,
So
he thinks
mashabiki wanaumia.
ni sisi tunaumia, man, because he knows that Southampton has been a boogie team for Arsenal in the last 3 seasons. You know, once we play this team, we end up drawing 3-3, 2-2, they beat us 1-0, you know. So you come into this game, you know you've given them a goalkeeper, a very good goalkeeper in Ramsdale, who knows our tactics, you know. That's why we had our 13 corners, and now we could not convert any of them, and we are known to be a team that converts its set pieces, including corners, you see. So this is a goalkeeper that has given these people our tactics. You come to the game, you bring in people that, sisi kama fans tunafeel player to Arsenal imeoutgrow. For example, sio kwa ubaya, but mtu kama Jesus right now, huyo Arsenal ishampita. He needs to go. Pale Arsenal level yake ya mpira.
By the way, why did you, according to you, why do you think Arsenal brought in Jesus?
We brought in Jesus and Zinchenko to try and match up Man City. At that time, the ceiling was that down. Because the style of play, Arteta needed people that understood that style of play that he had, that could help him implement it on the pitch. You know, and the people that could have done it are people from Man City, because he was coming from Man City. That's why Zinchenko and Jesus. But at that point, this is where the ceiling was. Right now, the ceiling is here. So just the way Zinchenko and Jesus could not deliver at Man City at that time, at this point, they cannot deliver for Arsenal as well.
Don't you think that perhaps Jesus was brought in as a just to add on to the bench power?
No.
Because they'll come.
When he came, right now, he can be that, the bench power, you know. But when we brought him in, he did not come in to sit at the bench. He came in, straight walked into the first 11. Injuries have kept him out, but he did not come in to be a squad player. But he came in to help Arteta implement the style of play that he had in his mind, which he did at that moment. But at this moment, Kai Havertz, clearly, there's no way you're benching Kai Havertz for Jesus. So Jesus needs to know. Remember, in the game we played against Leicester, there was an issue where Jesus started complaining that we are chasing the game. The game is 2-2. I am here on the bench. How are you bringing in a 17-year-old in Ethan Nwaneri to go and try win us the game, yet I'm here on the bench? That is the issue that came from
the coach wanted fresh legs, because you also understand that there are times that you need somebody who is a bit younger, a bit agile, a bit faster.
And hungry as well.
Yes, to implement right decisions on the pitch when you're looking for a goal. But all in all, I think that Jesus, for me, came in to just make sure that there's a strong bench power. Because in the last 2 seasons, I think Arsenal has been dropping the ball with the fact that they don't have a good bench power. Yes, you might have a strong first 11, but a team is complete only when you have a very good bench power. When you don't have options on the pitch, you have somebody out there who can give you better options to bring in goals.
Talking of bench power, we saw Kovacic trying to fit in Rodri's shoes in the City game where he scored 2 goals against Fulham. But are you still confident the way you are in the beginning of the season that City are going to defend this title with the way they are playing? Are you still that confident?
I'm still very confident because there's one thing, and I think that's what we've been just discussing. There's something that is very strong at City, the bench power. You might look at City to be struggling, but look at the flip side. Look at that bench power. The kind of talent that is on that bench is quite remarkable. So that's the reason why I feel that, yes, they might be going through a lean moment. In soccer, at times, you must have your lean times. And though you should not let it go past 4 or 5 matches. But Man City, believe you me, is a strong contender, not necessarily because of the first 11 guys who are on the pitch, but I'm looking at the bench power and the kind of coach that they have on their bench.
All right, let us come home sasa. And kuna vijana wetu wa Salim Babu walitufurahisha jana kwa wale wa kuwatch, mimi game ya Manchester nilikuwa nimesema nitaona highlights later because there was a bigger game than the Manchester game, which was our Rising Stars playing against Tanzania in Tanzania, and we got a win, 2-1 win. Arocho, your take on that game? Consistency.
Salim Babu picked from where he left, I think a year ago, during the tournament that was played in Kisumu. At this age, football, this is the development age. Between age 16 to age 21 is the development age. This is the golden age. And I like the foundation that was put through Talanta. You are seeing most of the players that are featuring in this team came from the Talanta program that picked players all over the country, and we're having some in the Spain, and I could see, is it Wafula or who? The captain, yes. Is currently in Spain. So basically, this is the route we should take. We are having players who are moving at a very tender age to Europe, and when we are playing youth tournaments, we invite them to integrate with our current, the players that are playing at home. And most of them are players who featured in the secondary school games. So this is the way to go. And I believe that the new FKF team that will come, yes, will make sure that they stick to this team, better their facilities, give them more exposure. And I'm only looking at Uganda as our real opponent in this tournament. Yes. Remember, Uganda won the tournament, the inaugural tournament that was played in Kisumu. They beat Kenya in the finals. Yes. So I was not looking at Tanzania as our main opponent, yes, but Uganda. I'm seeing Kenya and Uganda meeting in the finals because this is the qualifier. Whoever wins this tournament will represent this region in the AFCON for the under-20. So good job and kudos to Salim Babu and his team. All right, talking of the new team that is Roger is talking about, later on, we shall be having an interview with one of the aspirants that wants to be the president of the Football Kenya Federation. But before we go to the interview, Arocho, what lessons would you say we picked from that game yesterday? We scored a very good free kick, also conceded a very good free kick. You know? Now, Shatter, winning brings a lot of things. Yes. Even when the team is not confident, but when you win, it brings an atmosphere that is quite different. We are picking positives from this match. Yes. I believe the subsequent, I think we are playing, is it Eritrea? Yeah. We are playing a game against Rwanda, I think. Yes, our next opponent in this edition. Yeah. So for me, we picked confidence. We picked the winning mentality, because football is about winning mentality. Yeah. If you don't have that winning mentality, then you have a problem. I believe this is the team that is going to play in the 2027, my opinion, AFCON. Yes. Because we might be playing in the qualifiers, but it will be only for formality. These are the players who are going to give us, are going to shine for Kenya in the AFCON 2027. Once we are done with this tournament, in any case we qualify, or even if we don't qualify, let's expose this boy more. Yes. In various other tournaments, so that they get that confidence. I believe the future of Kenyan football lies with these young lads. Amazing. All right. That is the future. There is the present. And the present is playing against Cameroon. Okay? Your opinion. Let's start with the away game before we talk about the home game, which is away also. Shatter, at the moment, Cameroon are not the Cameroon we know. It's not that indomitable lion. They've been having their own issues. You remember, they have two teams. Samuel Eto'o. I feel that Samuel Eto'o is a big letdown as far as former players are concerned. Really? For me, it's a big letdown. How? He was suspended the other day by FIFA. For fighting for his team? You cannot fight. Shatter boy. Yes. As a leader, you cannot fight. No, you can be passionate though. Yes, you can, but the moment you become physical and emotional. No. It's football. Samuel Eto'o for me is a big letdown. Look at the way he's running football in Cameroon. But he's done something. Iron Fist. No. Please. Come on, Arocho. No. This guy hosted the AFCON. Yes. In Cameroon. No. The hosting of AFCON. He came in a month before the. But he did. Yeah, no. It was during his tenure. My point is this: Samuel Eto'o needs to be a team player. He's running football in Cameroon like his personal property. Then he goes to Mexico during the under 20 women's game. He creates chaos. For me, he's embarrassing ex-internationals. He's somebody that I believe has that ability to take Cameroonian football forward, but he's not doing his job, according to me, well. Though it will be for our advantage. The more confused Cameroon is positive for Kenya, because we are playing them on the 11th in Douala. I'm seeing Kenya picking a point. I'm seeing Kenya picking a win in Douala. Look at their last match. I think they played against Namibia, and they didn't win. So basically, they are not doing well. Cameroon is not doing well, and that's why Onana said that their only opponent, as far as he's concerned, is Kenya, because he's looking at the table standing. I believe Cameroon is beatable. Then 4 days later, we're going to play them in Kampala. I believe we can beat them in both the matches. If in any case we don't...
If we can beat them in Douala?
Yes.
Arocho is in that wishful thinking. I do not want Kenyans to come for me. I don't want Kenyans to come for me. But we are being realistic.
I talked about winning mentality.
This is the indomitable lion.
No. I talked about winning mentality. Currently, Kenya has that winning mentality. We beat Namibia. And Zimbabwe.
Namibia.
Zimbabwe was
not beat Zimbabwe.
No, Zimbabwe was so lucky.
Home game.
Yes, they were so lucky not to have lost against Kenya. So when we are moving into this match, on paper, Kenya is the favorite, on paper. But when you look at the history, yes. And of course, Cameroons don't beat Kenya oftenly. In fact, when they are playing Kenya, they know they are playing a bogey side. They are bogey side. So basically, going by all these factors, Olunga is coming back. I believe that Kenya can beat Cameroon in Yaoundé and in Kampala. Or if Mbaya Zaidi, we pick 3 points from the two outings. And of course...
4. So say 4 points. Draw and a win.
Okay, in any case, we win. We lose in
Douala.
In Douala, and squeeze a win in
Kampala.
In Kampala, we'll still top the table. So basically, Kenya. In any case, we pick 3 points from the two matches. Then of course, we'll be very good contenders for Morocco 2025.
Not to be controversial, but why would you sub or change the team that played against Namibia? Why would you bring in changes? That was a winning team.
If I was the coach, I will make those changes, because my captain is back, my top scorer is back. I need him back for that confidence. You know, once again, I'm going to say it, football is a psychological game. You have your best player, you have your top scorer, and you know, even your opponents knows very well that your top scorer was not in the previous match. He's come back, give him that game, so that the confidence in the team is restored. And I believe that with Olunga in that match, Kenya is going to beat Cameroon. Take it from me and take it to the bank.
I agree, because after Olunga coming back from injury, after akichezea club, you've seen him scoring goals, so his scoring boot is still intact. And as we say that, Arocho, then you appear to be very confident about us beating Cameroon in Douala, beating them in Kampala. But the federation does not seem to be that confident, because we've had stories, we are yet to confirm, that our federation has requested to play against Cameroon in Kampala in closed doors.
Shutterboy, I think I still believe that it's Kenya who requested for that match to be played without fans. I believe it's Kenya. Why? We are the host of that match. Why aren't we playing with our fans? Though when you look at it from the flip side, you'll realize that when Zimbabwe played Cameroon, there were a lot of fans from Uganda. They flocked the pitch, and they didn't come to support Cameroon. They came to support Onana.
All right.
So I'm looking at it that way. In any case, we play against Cameroon with fans. It could have, for me, it could have been a disadvantage for Kenya, because you know the kind of rivalry that we have against our neighbors, the Ugandans, and of course most of them will come to support Onana again, and that could have been a disadvantage to Kenya.
Why? You know, it's like you're assuming that we cannot travel to Uganda. this game, we are not talking about the game in Douala, because look, when we play their home game, they will have their fans. You know, so when you play your home game, there's no way you say I'd rather not have fans than Ugandan fans coming to support Nana.
I don't want...
This could have been an opportunity for everyone, including the federation, to market the game and ship Kenyans from here to Uganda. We already have a very big contingent of Kenyans living in Uganda. You know, it's just making the game accessible to them. Then tell Kenyans, start a campaign here, majama, tuendeni grao, tukawatch game yetu, because if at Kenyans, it's an opportunity to meet that Onana. Kenya kuna a lot of Manchester United fans that would want to see that Onana as well.
Shatta, I don't want to hold brief federation. I just want to stick to my side. I believe that, once again, my side is Kenya will beat Cameroon in Yaoundé.
Yes.
And of course, when we're in Kampala, we'll pick the 3 points.
Okay. Ni sawa. You said you don't want to hold brief for the federation.
Yes, because the more I say it, I'll be like I'm holding brief for them.
Okay.
Well, I still don't know exactly why that match is being played behind closed doors.
We will find out.
We'll try
make sure to let you know, guys, on our social media handles. We will let you know kwa nini hiyo game inasemekana itachezwa bila mafans, na ingekuwa opportunity yetu kuenda kuambia tukiona tukipiga Cameroon ingekuwa furaha inakaaje. Talking of the federation, wale mmekuwa watch show na mmefuata mpira ya Kenya, you know that kuna upcoming elections, there needs to be a change of guard according to Arocho. Wale wako pale kidogo shida, wale wako pale kidogo wa understand nini inaendelea. And talking of having that change, we said we will be bringing the people that have shown an interest of wanting to take the mantle and leading the federation. And today we are lucky enough to have one of the aspirants to answer the introduction. Then we proceed. Please welcome to our studios. Let's introduce ourselves.
Thank you. My name is Samuel Wino Kempes, but officially I'm Samuel Olali, but most people know me as Samuel Wino Kempes.
Karibu sana Kempes, TV47.
I'm glad to be here.
Yeah, you've been severally at Radio 47.
I know.
How do you see TV47?
Man, this is cool. It's really nice. Very impressive.
Good.
Yeah.
Now, basically, before we move much into the election, for the viewers, who is Kempes?
You know, like I said, my name is Samuel Wino Kempes. That's what most people know me as. You know, was born in Nairobi, Ziwani. You know, grew up there, played for my estate team, and then from there got recruited by Luo Union, played for Gor Mahia, then Harambee Stars, then ended up going for further studies in the United States, where I did engineering, electrical engineering, and then and I stayed there for a while.
Allow me to cut you short a bit. We need to fix your microphone. Let us have a bite from other aspirants. Alafu tukirudi, we do the thing. How's you?
FIFA said we have to conduct our elections before 31st of December. So I think it doesn't matter if it's 6 months or 4 months or 3 months, because now everyone is tired how we run our local football here in Kenya, and people want a fresh start. So the most important thing is just we have to change our management, our football, so that we can be as other countries the way they are. FIFA said we have to conduct our elections before 31st of December. So I think it doesn't matter if it's 6 months or 4 months or 3 months, because now everyone is tired how we run our local football here in Kenya, and people want a fresh start. So the most important thing is just we have to change our management, our football, so that we can be as other countries the way they are.
All right. Talking about a fresh start, let us redo this. Bila umesikia hapo watu wamesema we want a fresh start. Kempes, allow us to redo the introduction once again.
Thank you.
Yes.
Yeah. So officially I'm Samuel Owino Olali, but most people know me as Samuel Wino Kempes. Born in Nairobi, Kenya, in Ziwani Estate. I ended up playing for the estate team, Umeme. Then ended up being recruited and played for Luo Union. Then I played for Gor Mahia, then the national team. And then I ended up going to the US for further studies, where I did electrical engineering, stayed there for a while, and then started my academy and did all kinds of things over there. Yeah.
Welcome once again to TV 47. You've been with us at Radio 47 several times. And how do you see the studio?
No, this is very impressive, actually. I was very impressed with the radio station, and now I'm impressed with this. This is first class.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, Sammy, you've been in the States, and I think that is, if you compare our infrastructure in Kenya and the infrastructure in the States is more developed. I don't know, just for the benefit of our viewers, what have you picked in the States that you can bring to Kenya to help this game move to the next level?
To me, the biggest difference that I see between the States and here is just forethoughts in what they do. In other words, they plan, they think about it before they implement it. And that's the biggest difference that I see. I think a lot of times we don't think through the things we're doing, and sometimes we just implement them. And so if you had to ask me, that's the biggest difference.
There's a time you almost became the national team, youth team coach. And for me, I was so impressed because I knew that at least we'll get someone from the first world, if I may use that word, to come and impact that knowledge to our young team. What happened? And if in any case you're given an opportunity to run Kenyan football with the delegates, from the delegates, what will you do different to make sure that things happen? Because for me, and I said, and I think Shatta echoed it before you stepped in, the current regime cannot take Kenyan football to the next level.
Yeah, so when a while back, after I reached a certain point where I wanted to come back and give back to football in this country, my passion is in youth football, and my intent was to come and get involved in youth football. So through a friend of mine, I was introduced to Ghost Mule, and he in turn introduced me to Nick Mwendwa. And we talked about me getting involved with the under-17 national team, and I was very eager to get involved with that. And he suggested that instead of the under-17, for good reasons, that it made more sense for me to coach the under-20. So he asked me to present a proposal, which I did. Barry wrote me back, and then I presented my proposal, and then nothing happened beyond that.
Okay.
So
yeah.
Allow me to take you back before we come back and discuss if you've done your badges. All right. When you said you played for your estate team, for every youth growing up in Kenya, there's an estate team that you play for football. Yeah. It's like a culture,
Yes.
But then after that, you were scouted and played up to the national team. Then you went for further studies, and you said you started an academy there. What kept you glued in football? Because most of us play football to get out of a situation.
Yeah.
But you appeared to have left the situation when you went to the first world, But somehow you ended up starting an academy over there. And now you want to come back and bring change here.
Yeah.
What's this that has grounded you in football? Did you come from a footballing family, or what is it?
Yeah, it's one of those things. I don't know why. I think the love for football, started when I was very young. So I don't know. I just remember my uncle used to be a football player, and I used to admire him as a football player. But I think it's just what we did when we grew up. You either did football or you did boxing, and there were, during that time there were a lot of top boxing players, boxers that came from Ziwani. But my love for football was just something I loved from a very early age. I don't have an explanation why, but I loved it, and I was fortunate enough to keep playing it, and then end up building a successful business from it. So it's just something that was a passion of mine. I still love it. I think it's something I'm gonna probably love till I die, but it's a passion of mine that grew up with and still love. It's still a passion of mine. Yeah.
So have you done your badges?
My what?
Your badges in terms of coaching now?
Yes. I am an A licensed USSF, which is a USSF, which is equivalent to UEFA A license. So I'm an active coach. I've coached since my son played football in 2001. and I say this, you know, people think being a good player means you're going to be a good coach,
Yes.
but it doesn't work that way. You have to go through the exercise of training yourself. When I look back at the kind of coach I was when I started, and then when I went through my training and got the experience, it's a big difference. And then you guys were talking about Eto.
Yes.
I think it's the same point. I think I'm not running for the federation because I was a former football player. It's a small part of being a successful, I think, administrator, but I'm running because I built all those experiences over time as an administrator. I think part of what you see is when you're a football player and you think you can come straight from football to administration, I think there can be a problem. Yeah.
Okay, but before we move into the election chronicles, what do you think about our standards as a top coach in the US? What do you think about our coaching standards? Because for me, other than just kicking the ball on the pitch, you must have somebody who has the know-how out there to make sure that everything else works on the pitch. You've been here for some time. What do you think about our standards as far as coaching is concerned?
Are you talking about the national team or the club? Or
Let's start with the local leagues, and then, of course, we move to the national team.
I think the local league is all varies, right? There are some coaches clubs that have good coaches, and then there are some clubs that have, coaches that are not good. But I think overall our issue is just we don't run football in a professional manner. I don't want to name clubs just to be on the safe side, but I've seen top clubs that I've visited, and you look at their training and the way things are done, and you just realize the first thing you see for me when I even approach the fields, there's just lack of professionalism. And I think that runs across all facets of our football. And that to me is a big issue.
Okay. Yeah. You went to CAS with a case. I'd like you to shed more light about the case. Where has it reached? And of course, will it in any way interfere with the elections? Because the elections are set for the 7th of December. Tell us more about the case in Zurich.
Yeah, I'd like to, obviously I can't talk about all the details of the case, but what I can say is I think for me and for our team, I think what is important is free, fair, and credible elections, and just to make sure that going forward even beyond the elections, that we don't have to deal with litigations and things like that. And so really, those are kind of the major reasons why. There's also the AFCON, obviously, where we feel like if we go this path that we're going, and there's dispute in the elections, which is most likely to happen, and there's good, reasons why the elections could be annulled, then that automatically affects AFCON. So, we feel like we want to avoid that, and so we think CAS is the way to go. And people say, oh, you interfere with the current process. My sense, my feeling is that expediency is never a good thing if it compromises, long-term stability. And my worry with the current path is that, we are risking being in a lot more trouble later on. Instead of taking a path that's going to bring stability, remove the issues of cases, court cases, and bring about to a free, fair, and credible election. Right now, if you talk to if you look at the process that is going on right now, it's not a good process. And from the very beginning, we had the issues of the independence of the electoral board. That was a big concern, and you can actually see how that's affecting this process. I've talked to a lot of clubs that are having tremendous issues with this process. Some of them are being asked to go. They're coming over to Nairobi, then they're going back, and then they get an email that says, you need to be here the following morning. And so you're getting an email at 5 p.m. that tells you that you have to come back to Nairobi and address an issue. It's a really flawed process. and it's not a good one. It's not leading up to a fair election.
Credible election. Let's jump into your campaign. You've been on the road for some time now. Tell us something about the football family out there.
Yeah, for me, what encourages me is what I see when I go out and talk to club members or club officials, or however you want to call them. I think, we tend to criticize, our football, and there's some things wrong with it. But there's a lot to be said about the grassroots levels and people who are involved in clubs, because they go through a lot of sacrifices, personal, financial, and other means, just to be able to be involved in football. So there's a lot to be said about the commitment of people that are in football who love the game, and that's what gives me hope about Kenya football. I think if we get things right, a lot can be done. So there's a lot of good things that you see when you go to the grassroots.
All right. Sammy, you're on national TV. What is it that you want to do for Kenyan football? Let's say you're talking now to the delegates. Shatta and Arocho are one of the delegates, and of course the viewer is the delegate. What is this you'd like to tell these delegates who are going to elect the new office, and in any case, trying to let them give you their vote?
Yeah, I think Kenyan football, the number one problem that we have is lack of leadership at the top. I mean, if you don't have a leadership that has vision, that it loves the game, that understands what needs to be done to fix Kenyan football, we're going to have a problem. We don't have structures in our football because of it. We know we have issues of corruption, which we have having to deal with. I provide, my experience. I'm an experienced player. Obviously, I am a former player. I've played at the highest level. I have been involved in the management of football very successfully, not just in terms of running the academy. I've been involved in building structures at the North Texas level. If you look at United States, they had a point in time when they were kind of like Kenya in a way, but I was involved in the process of bringing structure to that. So I do have, this experience that we need here, that ranges from building infrastructures to building facilities. I've developed facilities in the US, and I have this passion for football, and there's integrity, which I think all those things are things that are needed right now for our football to move forward.
All right. Let us take a short commercial break. Then when we come back, you sample your feedback and also continue with the interview. Stay tuned.
Hey there friends, welcome to Kids on the Block, where fun and imagination come alive. We dive into magical world filled with exciting adventures and awesome friends.
What position were you in?
I was number 2.
What position were you?
Number 1.
He decided to cross the bridge by his house and look for food on the other side.
We're going to do half cup of chocolate chips, and the other one, we're going to do half cup of the blueberries.
So, grab your imagination hats and get ready to explore with us. Join us every Saturday at 9 a.m. for new friends, amazing stories, and tons of laughter.
All right, welcome back to the Monday Blitz. You're here with Shatta Boy, Arocho, and leo tumekuwa lucky enough tuko na Kempes. Kama if you're joining us now, umekuwa kipito wa dunia, tumediscuss mpira ya Europe, sasa tuko mpira ya Kenya. Kuna shida mingi sana kwa mpira ya Kenya. Usishangae kwa nini nimeanza kuongea Kiswahili, because you know they say politics is very local. You know, it's very local.
The local solution.
Yes, it's very local.
In the local language.
Yes. Kempes, my question to you would be about the player, the footballer.
Yeah.
You know, because and something else that you guys need to be very alert to is that someone might take you in rounds, you discuss them, and you forget to talk to the player and the delegate of what you intend to do for them. Yeah. You know, for the longest time in Kenya, there has been a player issue where players don't feel represented. There is a federation, there is KEFWA that is supposed to deal with the welfare of the footballer. There is the federation as well that needs to protect the footballers. But we've seen instances where footballers get injured, nobody takes care of them. There is a pay bill out here, we have to do a fundraising for the players. There are so very many. There's a word you said that football here is not being run professionally. You know, now to the footballer, what promise do you have?
Yeah, I think it comes back again to how we run our football. And so we need to make sure that we have a system where the interest of the football player is also protected. And we're able to put in place things that actually protect the player on a contractual basis as well, as in terms of, you know, the payment, because there's a lot of issues we've had where players are not paid on time and things like of that nature.
Yes.
Those are things that we need to sit down with clubs and kind of iron out. So there's a certain level of, we need to bring professionalism back into football, and players need to be protected and have contracts and make sure that they cannot just be discarded like that. So there's that level of protection. But I think there's also a level of education, that awareness that has to happen. I always say that you know, when I was playing football, I was always made aware of the fact that, you know, my career will be over. So you can never underestimate the importance of awareness. I think we can come up with programs, and I look at player welfare in two different forms. One is for you know, players that are still playing, and one is for players that are done with playing. And so I think for players that are playing, we can, number one, make them aware of the importance of having to prepare for retirement. We can help them with, you know, we can start a savings account, a retirement savings account. We can educate them on, we can do classes on education. We have, I mean, financial, you know, planning. We can educate them on, prepare them on other business, tie them up to business trainings as well. And there's also other issues that I know we've talked about in terms of mental health of players, because players go through a lot. So we need to have an office that specifically deals with issues of player that are related to those kinds of things. And then for retired players, I think it's important for us to recognize those retired players. We can, number one, do a recognition for them that we do every so often. And then we can, again, depending on your level of play, we can start pension plans for some of them, retired players. But there has to be a definition of, you know, who actually gets that, because realistically, you're not going to have all that money to do it. So we can start pension plans for people like that. Retired players, for me, if you played for the national team to some degree, you should be able to get to a stadium and just be able to get into any games you want to. So there's those things that we have to, but again, then there's the education of the retired players in terms of opportunities. We have opportunities for coaching, for administration that we can give them, but it comes with training. You can't just be a retired player and be thrown into a position. So we have to, you know, give them the opportunity to educate themselves so that they can be good coaches and get jobs, so that they can be administrators and get administration jobs within the federation.
Kempes, another very important aspect of the game is that financial backing. Sponsorship in this country is quite rare. I don't know if with your experience or with your contacts out there, you can be able to bring in guys who can help the game. We used to have Super Sport doing a very good job in Kenya. Multi-internationals. For me, I think multi-internationals are the way to go. Because when we had Super Sport, a lot of money was coming in, the players were exposed, and then money could trickle down, because all you're saying can only work if there's money. Do you think that you have that kind of network or kind of an opportunity that you have out there? Do you think we can convert these games with the people coming in?
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Everything starts with money, and everything I do, I always think in terms of how can we get the resources to be able to make it happen. So without money, we can't get anything done. And totally agree with you that we have to expand our sources of revenue beyond our borders. I think we can expand it within Kenya, but we can also expand it beyond Kenya. And I do have relationship with people in Germany and the US that we can bring in international organizations. Like, for example, a while back, there was an international organization that used to support women football. I believe that we can go to the international organizations like those and have them support our football as well. So there's an array of we can expand our sources of revenues, but that's only going to happen if we get our act together. So unless we get our act together to where we actually improve our brand, like the federation brand, our clubs and all that, it's going to be very difficult. You can't just go and tell people, give me money. I think it's a partnership where you are providing money to somebody, and in exchange you are telling them you're going to get this in return. I think if we stop thinking in terms of sponsorship and move to partnerships, I think we are more likely to bring in more revenue. But football is a business. I've always looked at it that way. And for me, we need to do a better job building the brand of football in this country if we want to get more money. So we got to get our act together. We got to create a brand that people want to associate with. I believe we can do that with good leadership. And with that, we can not only get money locally, but we can go beyond Kenya and get money from other places as well.
You've said all this can happen once we get our act together. In the recent past, Kenyan football has been played more in boardrooms than on the pitch. Yeah. What promise do you have that if or when the delegates and all stakeholders give you this mandate and you take the federation, what is it that you will do different that ensures Kenyan football is played on the pitch? As opposed to currently, that's why I'm saying it's being played in boardrooms, and in courts. Yeah. What is this that you will do different that might make that happen?
I always say that we all have a past. We have a history. You can look at your past, and it's always the best predictor of what you can do in the future. I do have a past, and my past says that I can build, I can build good things. I've been involved in, if you look at my past where I am, I have one of the top academies. It was rated the #1 academy in North Texas, which is the largest, one of the two largest football areas in the whole of United States. I've built facilities like you don't have here. I've built structures. I've been involved in the development of football in the United States, to where, if you go to the North Texas, they will tell you about me. So I have a past and a history, and also I have integrity. If you go ask people there, how has Sammy, what do you think of Sammy in terms of integrity? I think that's the one quality that people will say that I have. And so for me, the best prediction of how you're going to do things is what you've done. And I think my background is pretty good in that regard. Then, I have a vision for this country's football. And if a leadership, you don't have a vision, then that's a problem. You have a vision for football, which includes, building everything from the grassroots. So the foundation of our football will start from the grassroots. every aspect of our football we have to look at, whether it's academy football, or it's women's football, or it's the referee education, coaching education. So I have these different aspects of our football that needs to have structures or infrastructures that go all the way back to the grassroots, and a pathway is created from that point to the national level. For example, if you have a player in, let's say, Bomet, or if you have a player in Vihiga, that player needs to have the same opportunity to be picked to play at the national team level, whether he's a youth player or she's a youth player, or a national or a senior player, to be able to play for the national team. So you have to have these structures that create that path, whether you're a coach or a player or a referee, to be able to get to the highest possible level. We're lacking structures, we're lacking vision, leadership with vision, we're lacking leadership with integrity, and that's what we need to bring, and that's what I bring to the table.
Amazing.
Yeah.
There is a clip that we're supposed to play, but before we play that clip, you've mentioned, let me ask you about academies, because you've said you have an academy. In Kenya, I did a punch the other day, Aroch, if you remember, and I spoke about academies. In Kenya, everyone thinks they can start an academy. You know, what does it entail to start a proper academy?
You know, I say this, there's nothing wrong in starting any academy. I think as long as you have an academy and kids are playing, I think it's always a good thing. But there's proper academy. It means that there's a level of professionalism and understanding of all the things that's needed to develop a player are incorporated in that, and understanding, having the qualified coaches involved.
Yes.
And just having the whole structure in place. You know, I was an Olympic Youth Center. Kenya used to have a very good academy, by the way, called Olympic Youth Center, and it was actually started by Germans in collaboration with the government of Kenya. So I had an idea of what a good academy was, and it was fantastic. And you know, you're right, there are different levels of academy, but for me, they are all good. But we really do need to start true academies that will truly develop players to the level that we need. I know I've heard Arocho say multiple times, and he gets criticized for it, that we don't have top level players. And the reality is that is true. For me, I think we do have a shortage of top level players, and we need to be able to create academies that, not that the players, they're good players, but I think we're lacking the academy infrastructure that can help us produce top players that can play at the highest level. And I think it's, the argument is pretty obvious. If you look at, I always ask this question, how many of our players have gone and played at the highest level in the world since independence? Think about that. And that tells you everything. I think we can do better.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's very true. We can do better. Let's listen to one of the aspirants as well, then we come back as we wind up with Kempes.
We demand the following. Number one, the electoral board to be the oversight in the electoral process and appoint either IEBC or the Law Society of Kenya to conduct the elections exercise with immediate effect, to immediately and transparently notify the members and stakeholders on any changes or updates made to the voters' register and adherence to the Sports Act 2013. The FKF President, Nicholas Mwendwa, and the General Secretary, Barry Otieno, be completely removed from participating in any role at the Electoral Board, and we call upon the DCI and the EAC to investigate their conduct immediately. The Ministry, point number 4, the Ministry of Sports immediately undertakes to change the location of the FKF Electoral Board from Kandanda House, as there has already been a deliberate attempt to sabotage the entire process due to the current location.
All right, welcome back, Kempes. Your opinion on the same? as now we start winding up.
Yeah, before I say that, the cameraman needs to get fired. How come I never?
No, it's because you're here. No, they cut the clip because they knew you're here. You will.
We need to get rid of that guy. So I need to know who the person is. It's unbelievable. But,
you're here. Yeah.
But anyway, I think that was our effort to be able to put pressure to bear to make people understand that, you know, there's the federation, but there's all these other people who want to do right by football, and we all got together to make that point. And so, you know, it's just us getting together and putting pressure to bear. Yeah.
All right, Arocho.
Well, basically, mine is just to wish you all the best, and I believe that it's a concerted effort to make sure that this game is back to where you people left it, because, well, I didn't have the pleasure to watch you, but I'm made to understand that he was a fantastic player at Gor Mahia and at Harambee Stars. So if you know, these days you cannot even pick a player who played for Harambee Stars 2 years ago, but we can still pick you 30, 40 years down the lane. So basically, I'm supporting the concerted effort to make sure that the game is back where it belongs. And I believe that God cannot be that unfair to us. We've gone to the lowest, if you ask me, as far as football is concerned. Nobody wants to hear, the corporate world, nobody wants to hear about this game because of the kind of mischief that is in the game. All the best, and I believe that come 8th of December, Kenya will have a new face as far as the game is concerned.
Thank you. Thank you, Rocho.
Yes. And perhaps your parting shot?
Yeah, my parting shot is that, you know, there's a lot of hopelessness in regards to Kenyan football. I'm very hopeful. I always believe that, you know, it is people who messed up our football. It is people who can build it up. And I'm very hopeful, and we can take football with the right people, or the right people at the top. We can take football from where it is now to be one of the top in the continent. I believe that.
Wow.
Before we let you go, I'm sure you have somewhere, you have your manifesto, or maybe anyone wants to get interactive with you. How do they get in touch? You have a social media handles?
Yeah, we do have a website. Everything is Samuel Wino Kempes. So you just do a search for Samuel Wino Kempes, and it's going to take you to all the social media sites that you need to go related to me.
All right. Yeah. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you
for coming. Yeah. Tumekurausha sana.
Yeah, nashukuru.
But hii mpira ya Kenya inahitaji kurauka sana na sana, because there is a lot that needs to be done.
Kweli.
Si ndio?
Nashukuru bana.
Thank you very much for coming.
Okay.
All right guys, tumekuwa na Kempes, mmesikiliza. If you didn't know, elections zinakuja bana. Mwanze kupiga kelele kwa mtaani, mwambie delegates wenyu mkipiga kura tunataka change, si ndio? Anyway, let us take your feedback, alafu tukirudi tupate red card ya Rocho na tumalizie na punch, au sio? Aya, wa kwanza amesema Elo Shataboy alongside Rocho ni Brighton Kavai from Sabati ya Vihiga County, Manchester United die hard. The truth of the matter, Ten Hag is a virus to Manchester United. We have to get rid of him as early as possible. Good morning, watching live from Kipkaren Estate Eldoret. Eric Ten Hag is not the problem. It is Arocho in the team, but players lack passion of the team. Good morning, watching live from Kipkaren Estate. Ten Hag is not the problem, but the players lack passion of the team. Good morning, Arocho and Shatta. I am Billy from Eldoret. I am an Arsenal fan, but to be sincere, Ten Hag has no future at Manchester United. Sorry to say this. You don't have to be sorry, Billy. It's the truth. Shatta, umwambia Arocho Arsenal ni timu kubwa na awache kuleta predictions za uongo. Ni Gilbert Rotich kutoka Nyaru. Tell Arocho that Chelsea is not a title contender. Please. Okay.
Those must be Gilbert Rotich, thank you for your feedback. But all I say, it is the beauty of the game. Shatta,
yes.
When Arsenal is not playing well,
yes,
there's no football.
But Arsenal has been playing well.
Arsenal has not won what?
Eh? No, don't go back to history. We are talking about the last 7 games, man. Don't let
Shatta, the ultimate goal is not to play well. It's to do what?
To win the trophies. Any more feedback about Rudy hapa kwa Rocho? All right. Nimesoma hizi. Aya. Okay, turudi hapa, niko na Arocho. Arocho.
Yep.
Kempes ameongea vizuri sana. There are things that we needed to hear about the Kenyan game.
Yes.
We hope that can be implemented.
Me, what I've liked about Kempes' interview, for me, it's the network. Anybody who can bring money in this game, because tutaongea story nyingi, players have not been paid, sijui allowances ni kidogo. Ultimately, it boils down to money. A face that can break football, because the current faces in Kenyan football cannot attract anything. So we need somebody who can go talk to the corporate, who I'm trust, because I'll not give you my 100 million if I know that
trust you.
You cannot account for that. So basically the Kenyan game needs a new face, a credible face, and somebody who can negotiate and bring in money into the game. Yes.
Give me your red card.
My red card goes to Samuel Eto'o. I'm so disappointed with Samuel Eto'o. You cannot be given 6 matches, is it 5 or 6 matches ban by FIFA because you brought chaos in Mexico when the Cameroon under-20 was playing. Samuel Eto'o, you need to change your ways. Look at the fact that Eto'o na minister wa sports hawasikizani kule Cameroon. Huwezi kuwa nakosana na kila mtu. My red card goes to Samuel Eto'o. You need to change your ways.
Kuna mwingine pia najua asikizani na minister. Seriously, it's a Monday morning.
No.
This is not the way we are starting a Monday.
Samuel Eto'o, no. He's really exposing ex-players.
I think Arocho is just worried that Cameroon might cause a havoc. Anyway, it's true pia Eto'o pia anatuangusha because having played football so well, alafu amepewa leadership, then he starts behaving the way he's behaving, haifurahishi. Anyway, for my punchline, I want to talk about the FKF. I sincerely hope that you are not the ones that have requested to have the Harambee Stars game played in closed doors. I hope it is not you guys. Ati because mnaogopa mafans wa Uganda wataenda celebrate Onana. Surely. I do hope this is a rumor. Because if it is the truth, mtatuambia nani aliwaambia hatuna uwezo wa kwenda Uganda. Hatuwezi jaza mabasi hapa ama tuvuke border tuingie on foot tujipate Kampala tukiwatch game. All right? I want to wish Harambee Stars all the best. Tukirudi next week watakuwa washacheza game zao. So all the best to the Harambee Stars. Na mcheze mkijua we are fully behind you. Okay? Na Federation, behave. That's my punch. Tunaimalizia hapo. You follow me everywhere at Shutterboy. Arocho unakupata wapi?
Mimi ni Fred Arocho kwenye Facebook, inaitwa Blue Tick Twap. Kwenye X, Fred Arocho, Fred_Arocho. Kwenye TikTok, Fred Arocho Chipukizi.
Yeah. All right guys, Shutterboy everywhere.